day 5 of Reinvent Your Career in 30-Day Challenge. It is great to be here. We've got 2 more days, today and tomorrow, to talk about resumes and how important your resume is. And today we're going to talk about how you build out and showcase your professional experience. And everybody does it wrong. Everybody does it wrong. So it's really important that we focus on that today, because what you need to show in your experience is not what everybody does, which is tasks, responsibilities, and activities. Everybody talks about, I was responsible for this, and I was responsible for that, and I was responsible for the other, and they make a list of activities that they do every day, and all the activities that it's involved in your job, and that's not what your experience section should be. Your experience should talk about your achievements, your accomplishments, which means you have to completely rethink how you're going to talk about your experience. And everybody does it wrong, so don't feel bad about it. It's just the way it is. I want you to think about your resume as a print ad, and you're trying to put hooks of interest that people are going to say, I really want to talk to that person. And so what you want to do is not do a laundry list of activities, but talk about achievements. And to do that, I want you to think of quantifying them with one of 3 ways. I want you to think that every achievement should include a number, a dollar sign, or a percentage, and that will help ground you in an achievement-oriented description. So in your experience section, it's real easy. You should be writing, you start each job, you should start with the title or the company name, whichever is more important, and these should be bold caps, comma, the city-state abbreviation, and then at the very end, flush write the years. I personally don't like to use months, because, if you're just out of college and months count, that's fine. But if you're looking at a 20-year resume, I don't care what you did in 2006, whether you started in May or November. I don't really care. That's past history. So I personally like to declutter the resume and not put the months, unless you're a relatively new professional, you've recently graduated from school, or you've just changed jobs, it might be relevant. But I would prefer you just do years. Then under that section, I want you to write a 1-sentence summary of what your responsibility was. So you have a certain title, okay, what that job was, and try and flesh out a little bit the company, how big it was, how important it was, what it does, how many employees it has. Is it a big company? Is it a little company? Define the company, define the industry, so you can help the person who's reading the resume understand, kind of put it in perspective. If you worked for a company with 10 employees is different than working with a company that had 6,000 employees, and that you ran the payroll for 6 employees or 6,000, that makes a difference. So understanding the industry, the company, the achievements of the company, and your role in that company. In 1 sentence, you could have another sentence that talks about key responsibilities. So I was responsible for these 7 areas of a company or of a hospital or whatever it was. But that's where you talk about responsibilities, and you try and dimension it so that I can understand, position you, I can picture you in that role, what your responsibilities are, and what the company is. And I want to do that in 1 sentence. And then underneath that, you want 3 to 5, hopefully no more than 3 to 5, preferably 3 bullets, very brief statements, not sentences, statements that start with an action verb, a powerful action verb, current job, present tense, but any past jobs would be past tense, and describing an achievement. So, and those powerful words could be things like spearheaded, launched, innovative, slashed budgets, managed, led, innovated, created, launched, supported. But you want to have powerful words that evoke a picture of action. These are action-oriented and achievement-oriented. I want to know what you achieved, not what you did task-wise. And so therefore, we're going to work in that way. You want to have that 1 sentence, the 3 bullets. And when you're writing it, everybody says, well, I can't quantify it. Well, yes, you can. If you go inside the course, I'm going to teach you how. Okay? But I want you to think about converting things. Everybody talks about responsibilities or actions. I launched a program called XYZ. Well, what did it do? It did this. Okay, So what? What does it matter to the company that you launched that program? Well, it was important because it reduced time to process payroll by 27%. Bingo. Reduced time to process payroll, okay, saving X dollars by innovating this. So you have to keep asking yourself, so what? What did it achieve? What did it impact? So what was the impact of what I did? And then you convert that into an action statement of achievement. So it's very different from what you've done. Let me show you some examples here. This is for an environmental health and safety engineer. Okay, and so you can see we have right here, we have the role that he was in, okay? Kind of a quick description trying to quantify the job and what his responsibilities were. And then this one has 5 bullets, all with a number. And then below that, the next one, let me see if I can get, has 3 bullets. And talk about spearheaded 15% reduction, okay? OSHA training for 200 field people. And so that's what you want to do. You want to make it very powerful by including numbers, percentages, and dollar signs. Now, if you work in an industry that everybody knows what you did, I had a case of a man who was a PE teacher and a basketball coach. Now, you don't have to tell me what a PE coach does. I know what he did. I know what a basketball coach does. So don't tell me the responsibilities. What did you achieve? Did you get awards? Did you lead the team to a successful season? Did you get recognition? Did you start something special? So talk about achievements. If you have a job that everybody knows by the title what it is, nurse. Okay, I just recently worked with a lady who was a nurse. Well, you don't have to tell me what a charge nurse is or a NICU nurse is or a general nurse. I know what a nurse does. So tell me what you achieved. So focus more on the achievements that you did. Like this is the nurse's resume. And so in this one, I didn't have to do a lot of work with the job description. I summarized the role up above. So we summarized it in the summary section. Okay, so I have the summary of what you did in nursing and the systems that you used, but I don't need a whole bunch of description for each job of what a nurse did. Okay, instead, in that kind of a role, I summarize it very quickly because I know what a nurse does, but then I talk about the areas of experience that you did because that's not something that's really easy to quantify. And so here's another example of a health specialist managed. And again, you see, let me see if I can get it up here. Okay, here I have a description of what you did in that role and then bullets, very tight bullets, explaining what you achieved in that role. And that's the most important thing, that you think differently, because everybody goes on and on and on. I was responsible for this and I was responsible for that. I don't care what you were responsible for. You tell me what you achieved and I know what you were responsible for impacting. And if you didn't achieve anything, then you probably weren't a real good employee if it's an achievement-oriented role. Okay, so it's really important we look at it this way. So if you go inside the course, which is www.reinventyourcareerin30days.com, go into that course, and then I have a lot of content for you. I have a video on employment, and it's about a 15-minute video that walks you step by step and explains with screen share much better than I just did exactly what you should be doing, and lets you see exactly how you transform responsibilities, roles, and tasks into achievements. And there's a PowerPoint on that same topic, so you can go through, can download it and go through it step by step so that you can learn exactly how to do that. This is probably the hardest, the career objective and transforming your experience into achievements is the hardest thing. Tomorrow, we're going to do formatting. That'll be the very last day of the resume, and then the next day we'll be on to cover letters. So make sure you tune in, make sure you watch these videos. I've got tons and tons of training materials inside www.reinventyourcareerin30days.com. Hope to see you in there and provide some more information on how you can be successful in creating your powerful above the fold resume with very, very powerful achievement-oriented, quantified employment section. Bye-bye.